please like and subscribe.
There's
what
no
do we
Greg.
do without Greg?
Right. I'm confused. I don't know what to do.
Welcome back to the podcast. Greg is on hiatus, I guess. So
Yeah.
I don't
The
know.
family.
I guess he just thinks he needs some time off, but so we'll give it to him because we don't really have a choice. So I mean,
Yeah.
Caleb could grab him, but so while we wait for some people to get in here, how was your guys' week? How's your Memorial Day weekend going?
It's going good.
It's super wet and rainy in
It's
Missouri.
rainy here, yeah.
Oh, it's super dry and hot here.
It's good nap weather here.
Speaking of
At
naps,
95.
we confirmed on X yesterday that people that have big brains tend to nap more
During the day.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I just, in case people were wondering why I take so many naps. Yeah, no, but it has been super rainy here. It's, I don't know. It seems like it's cooler in late May in Missouri than it has been in a long time, but
Yeah.
I'll take it. Because it seems like, I don't know about you guys, Holly, but we didn't get much of a spring last year. And I don't know if you really get spring in Arizona or not.
We do.
Is your winter your spring?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I should live in Arizona for 6 months. And then when it gets stupid hot, move. Well, not to Missouri because it's too humid, but move somewhere else. It's, I don't know, mild.
June, July, August. You only have to be gone for about 3.5 months. That is
Except
torture.
Colorado.
Like that's what I would do when I'm rich, when I make it big through crypto. I am seriously, I will not leave Arizona for good. I will always have a home here, but I plan on being a snowbird where we just come back during the good weather and then leaving during the torturous hot weather and then leaving wherever it's snowing. No, absolutely not. I will not live
You didn't like that?
full time in the snow.
It's fun occasionally.
Okay, for like a day.
Yeah.
A day.
So, rich off crypto, does that mean you've bought a lot of BTC?
I am looking to buy ASAP because I feel like it's not going down like I thought it was going to do, but it just kept going up. Is it still at 108?
I haven't had time to look today, but yeah, it's still above 105. And we were talking about that earlier. I noticed, I mean, it's math, so it's pretty basic, but notice that when it went up 1% the other day, it went up over $1,000. And when it dropped like 0.84%, it dropped over $1,000. And I thought, yeah, because what do you guys think? You think we'll see 80,000 BTC ever again?
No.
Think we'll see under 100? I could see that.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I think like the mid 90s we might see again. Maybe. I just don't know when.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, and this is a far-fetched dream for me. If it would happen to go to like 50K or something like that again, I'm not missing the boat this time because I've already made some pretty big investments into it, but I will like more than double those investments if it gets down to that point. So yeah, I just think the conservative estimates I keep seeing on BTC is, $1 million in 6 to 7 years. Some people think 10 to 15 million in 10 years. I mean, that's pretty crazy. That's crazy money.
Yeah.
And the main reason behind it that I keep reading about is because banks are going to start letting you use it as collateral at a less % interest rate because they in turn know your collateral is going to go up through the life of the loan, and they wouldn't be too sad if you lost your collateral to the loan. So, so we'll see. But I guess without further ado, the news of the week would have to be the verdict in the trial against John Caroni. So I think by now everybody probably knows it's good to be live on Sundays, but sometimes things happen early in the week. So it kind of feels like a little bit late news that he was found guilty on all 3 charges. I'm sure most people also know that X has been completely, It's tapered down a little bit the last day or two, but for 2 or 3 days, it was completely wild on all the takes. There were some spaces that were that Miss Holly was speaking in.
I was a co-host.
Yeah. How'd you get conned into that? Or did you just say,
Rudy,
I got your back?
Well, between Rudy, TNG, and I, TNG's like, Holly, can you host? And I'm like, oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. Oh. My dog is barking at Mike. And I was like, oh no, we need to find someone else to host and I'll co-host, because the time they wanted to do it, I mean, it was close to when like the news dropped about him being guilty. Yeah. I was actually in the process of working still. And so I had meetings, everything, I know. And so I was like, I can't host because I have actual work that I need to get done, but I can co-host and kind of listen, like, and then chime in. Although it come to find out, I couldn't even focus on work. And so I was like quite the speaker in that. You
didn't earn your keep at work that day?
Not that day. Not that day. But no, and it actually, like, the news broke as we were on the space. Mm-hmm. And that was just like, ugh. Because I feel like there was a big part of me that thought it was gonna be a hung jury.
I saw that, and we talked about that, and I didn't ever really get that feeling, but crazier things have happened in trials. Mm-hmm. I mean, I never thought, I'm old, but I never thought OJ was going to be found innocent. It seemed too obvious to me, you know? So, and ever since then, if OJ can get off, I kind of feel like anybody has an opportunity or a chance to get off. True. But it was a good space. There seemed like there might have been a little bit of healing for both sides of the aisle. Would you agree with that? I mean, there were still some tempers.
There was a lot of like, well, damn. I don't know how it was. I don't know, because in this weird way, I was still kind of shocked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, people are like, oh, justice is served. And, as I keep thinking about it, on one token it was, but on the other it wasn't, because there's still a whole lot of people who are hurt.
Oh yeah.
Financially hurt, emotionally hurt, a lot. And then to come to hear, did you hear where that David B. Morris or Z. Morris, the reporter guy, had talked a little bit about John Crony's parents and what they received, and how, the IRS agent was bringing up like what the mom used with the money that John gave her. And it was like designer items. And then to hear that her, she was kind of scalping at it and like she was making faces, made me sick. Mm-hmm. Because her group, the Bahali, or I still don't know.
I'm not sure either.
It was really like big in the Gambia and helping the people over there. And then to find out that not only the son screwed the Gambia people, but the mom is as well. Well, the apple doesn't fall far now, does it?
No.
And that is so sad to me, because, we're very spoiled as Americans. And so the Gambia being in the state it is, and just having that hope of these people, and then for it to be ripped away from them.
Yeah.
It's just so heartbreaking to me, honestly. And I can't really be like justice was served. I really can't.
Well, it's one of those things though, too, that, when these sort of things come out, and listening to the space that you were on, was that Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday, I think.
I think it was
maybe.
Wednesday. It was Wednesday. Because I was in the office on Monday and Tuesday. Okay. So that's how I know.
So on Wednesday, when that all kind of came out, and just the state of euphoria some people had for being being correct the entire time. Mm-hmm. But also we saw the other side of people still wanting to believe in what John had to say, hoping for an appeal, which there's a chance for an appeal here, but let's be honest, you have to have a reason for an appeal. This is not TV. You cannot just appeal a verdict because you don't like it. There has to be a reason.
Well,
So,
here's my question with an appeal. Like he has to find a reason where he was not fairly tried.
right.
Yeah.
And bring it up along with his lawyer. But this current lawyer, from what I've gathered throughout this whole thing, didn't want to really be a part of it to begin with. He was asking to be removed from it, along with John. So I'm not sure his lawyer is going to be like, sign me up, right? Like, I think he goes somewhere else. It's just such a big stretch, and I feel like people need to move past that hope, because you're giving yourself false hope. And there's a big possibility he's a bigger possibility that he's not going to get one than get one. So false hope.
Oh yeah, I'd say it's less than 1% chance he has in an appeal.
Oh yeah, like
and I already saw people saying that they're like, oh, appeal to the Supreme Court, justice for John. I'm like, the Supreme Court takes like 1% of the cases that are brought to them. Like, they do not see very many cases, and they are surely not going to oversee that one. But, you have people that came to the conclusion of Safe Moon and John at different stages, like that they were doing wrong or it wasn't right. You had some people from day one that didn't really believe in it. Right. And as it went on, you got more and more and more people, and to the point where now the majority of people, understand what happened, but you still have those one or two, unfortunately it's more than two, people that still... But let's say percentage then, because there's still people, but more people believe now the truth of what happened. But we all got there in different times, right? And I couldn't talk during your space, but one of the things that you said was, you apologized to the people that knew the truth, that were sharing the truth, or at least they thought they knew the truth. Maybe at that point there wasn't 100% certainty in their mind. Now there is, and some of them probably, there's some smart people on both sides of the aisle. They probably did see that. But think back to, I don't remember the exact time frame when we're having conversations behind the scenes. Out of the four of us, I think I was kind of the first one that was like, I don't know about this. Like, this doesn't make sense. And not that we were super questioning it, but just when it started to get into our brains, it was like, all right, that's weird. Well, now on top of that, that's even weirder, to the point where I think I was the first one to sell all my Safe Moon.
I think you were too.
And I'm not saying that makes me better than anybody else. I just want to use it as an example of even a close-knit group as like the four of us, we all came to that realization at different times. And we talked to each other about it on and off camera all the time. But we still didn't get to the same spot at the same time. So there was some of that going on in your space. I have to say, because it amuses me, there was a little bit of chaos in the space because people decided to use that time to call out other people and
that was
making accusations against TNG. And I don't remember all the people that were speaking, at the time.
Yeah.
Well, and everybody's like, that's not what this space is for.
Yeah,
I thought it was entertaining.
I had to mute everyone. And I was like, okay. Because I didn't want it. It wasn't about bashing each other. It was strictly, we wanted to talk about Safe Moon. But then we had one guy come in that has his own project or had a project, and I don't know what happened to it. And then he's doing another project. And so people
are afraid he was going to promote it in this space, I think, too.
Well, it wasn't that he was trying to promote his, but he was trying to come to get everybody to see that his project is not a scam.
Right.
And it was this is not what it's about.
It's not the time.
No, but he was trying to defend himself. It was just really, really odd. And I was like, okay, stop. And I didn't kick him out. That was TNG. I will blame
Meg said maybe I won't go back and listen to it, but I think you should, Meg. I think that there was some good information there, but it was here's where and I didn't get to start at the very beginning, and I didn't get to finish it all the way through. I had to go, but I listened to it for a couple hours, I do think that the theme of the space ended up being that there was some healing, because even what we would call the fudders throughout the whole process were not nearly as negative as that they had been. Like they had some compassion for the people that are just now getting to the point of, oh crap, we were screwed over. This dude did take advantage of us.
Yeah.
Whereas also the people that used to fight the fudders also apologized and said, hey, I wish I would have listened to you a long ago. I mean, going back to the whole BTC argument, what would you have loved to have done if our brains could have clicked at the moment that we realized and put all that into Bitcoin when Bitcoin was like $20,000?
I know.
Your goal of retirement would be a lot closer than what it is right now.
Yeah.
So I do think that all in all it was a little bit of a healing moment. It also proved to me that there are people out there that you are never going to convince that John did anything wrong. Weird. So be it. I am done trying to convince people of it. Like, you don't see it now. Like Meemaw says, like, what happened to the people saying innocent until proven guilty? But now that he is found guilty, now they say he was set up. I'll go ahead and put that comment up there. That
how, like
100%.
That's what I'm trying to understand, because I've seen so many people as well. Okay, let me take that back. I've seen a few people, we'll just say about 5-6 people, wanting to see the transcripts as if that was going to do anything.
Right.
And I'm like, I mean, I want to see them just to see what all went down, but that's not going to change anybody's mind. It didn't change the jurors, and they were there.
Yeah, they were there. They heard everything.
16 of them. I thought it was 12. Come to find out, it was 16. 16.
And convicted unanimously.
Yeah.
On all charges.
On all charges. And that's rare. Just 16 people trying to convince him of the same thing. There had to have been some really big evidence that was thrown at him that they were like, okay, this dude ran with a lot of money. Like,
oh, yeah.
To hear about how the parents, right, like they were kind of on a spending spree as well. It makes sense as to why John was suing his mom. I will say that. But I can't even, like, and now I don't know if you guys are aware, but on the 27th, there is a hearing to revoke John's bail.
So I knew it was coming up. It is going to be Tuesday.
Yeah, that's on the 27th. Okay. So that's not sentencing still. It's just to say he needs to be in jail because he's an even bigger flight risk at this time. And really thinking about it, he kind of is. I mean, when you're facing up to 45 years in jail, it would cross my mind that I need to get the F out of here.
Yeah, it wouldn't mind. I have an irrational fear of jail. You are not seeing me anymore. If there was a possibility of facing 45 years, I'm gone. See you later. Yeah. I'll cash out all my stuff and I'm going to live on an island somewhere.
What do you think they'll end up getting? Do you think it'll be 45 or do you think it'll be double digits or
32?
30?
I think everybody other than the people who think he's got set up is hoping for 32 just because of the symbology around
Come on, it has to be, right? I mean, that's perfect. It's perfect.
I honestly think more than 10 years. I
do too.
And I cannot for the life of me put myself in his shoes to think right now. I mean, even before this hearing of them revoking bail, this is my last, these are my last days. Like, what is going through your brain knowing
it's not good.
In jail?
Yeah. It can't be good.
No, and there is this part of me that's very scared for him and mental health and not wanting to be here anymore. That scares me, but I have to keep going back and reminding myself of all the people who lost because of this man. I keep needing to tell myself that whatever he decides to do is on him.
Well, you're talking about realized gains too, but there's those unrealized gains. If I'm not putting that kind of money into SafeMoon, I am putting it into things like ETH and Bitcoin. And who knows how much money that would be worth right now. You know what I mean?
I hope that's what he's doing. I truly don't believe that there's not some stashes of wallets that nobody knows about.
Well, I
Like,
don't mean him. I mean like me. Like it's not just money that he stole from us. It's the money that we could have made
well,
if
that
we
Oh.
invested in something else. But I
Here's a-
also think that sometimes people get their justice on this earth, and then sometimes it's not till after we die. He's getting his on this earth because it's a simple phrase, but play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I mean,
don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't put yourself in that position because criminals normally get caught for two reasons:
Yeah.
stupidity or greed.
Yeah.
And in his, I believe it
both.
was greed. I think
Oh,
it's a little bit of stupidity, but I think he could have people would have given him a pass for buying a house in Utah. That's where you put your
We already
headquarter. Yeah. But then you're putting down payments on your mom's house. You're doing this. You're buying these cars. You know, all these different things. At a certain point, that's kind of maybe where I was at. It wasn't necessarily the first house. It
Right.
was things after that I'm like, hold on, like this is not your money. Like basically, at some level, I paid for some of this. You know.
Okay, put yourself in the shoes of the parents now.
Mm-hmm.
If my daughter was like, "Oh, mom, I got your $107,000 down payment for your house."
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Where
Where'd that
from?
come from? Yeah.
Where did that come from? Oh, it came from my company. Where did that come
Yeah.
from? Like,
Petty
I'm
cash.
they were living the high life as much as he was off of him. That is, and then turning around and being like, I don't like my son and I'm going to countersue you back and all this weird shit. What? Like,
Yeah.
who are these people? Who are these people?
Well, it was his brother that left the company and came out and tried to tell everybody what was going on, right? Was his brother or his uncle? I can't remember.
Both. Charles.
Both? Okay.
Was it
Really
both of them?
small one. The Uncle David. He
Oh,
was
David and Charles. Yeah.
so hard for people to see.
Yeah.
There's a lot that is wrong here. And you know, but the thing is he was trying to blame everything on John. He was trying to act like the parents were nothing was wrong. The parents are just as freaking guilty.
So, but at the same time, we had already had that narrative built that John's parents weren't really trustful. Like you couldn't really, like there was chaos in the family. So when a family member comes out and tries to warn everyone, nobody takes it super serious because it's like,
Right.
hold on a second.
Yeah.
We've already been told that you're nuts. And come to find out that dude was telling the truth from the very beginning, you know? But
Yeah.
also speaking of that, do you think his parents they'll go after his parents for anything?
I really hope so. And I mean, I'm teetering on two different things. The first one being who the dad worked for or works for.
Mhm.
CIA government is shit, right? Like
Could be.
I don't know what role he's playing
Yeah.
there or anything like that. However, on the other side, they absolutely should go after the parents for the sole reason that they are part of the CIA/government. Like that's a big deal. Like you need to, make them accountable because they're in a different, work group than the norm. If the CIA can get away with this, then everybody else should be able to. So make them an example is how I feel.
No, I'm with you. I don't know if the CIA part would protect them unless, depending on how deep they were and what they were working on at the time. But it's possible. But also, this is a really big judgment.
Josh, he's pretty freaking up there, or was. It's like scary.
But I do think, though, at some level, like the judgment they got against John is kind of setting precedent on, or the verdict they got. We'll see what the sentencing is, because I could see it being longer, being like, hey, we're going to make an example out of this. Because we haven't seen a lot of them going after these scammers, right? Because listen, if they're going to start a list, I got some more names that they can go talk to. And I think we all can think of like 5 right off the top of our heads.
Oh, yeah.
So if this is what we're going to do, let's go back and let's do it to them all so that the general public will not get scammed out of their money moving forward.
Right.
Because, man, I would guess that, Caleb, what do you think? Out of the first 10 projects we invested in, How many of those do you think became scam projects? All of them, except like Bitcoin and ETH
Yeah,
and
like
Doge.
so. Yeah.
So I would say 7 out of 10 were scams.
Yeah.
That's so sad to me.
And then we would make profits on ETH and Bitcoin and Doge. And then we bought some things like SHIB that aren't scams, but they haven't really went up that much. But then we would also dabble in, what's that?
I said, I'm up on my ship.
Well, I am too, but not as much as I was like a month ago or
Yeah.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I know.
But what my point is that make some profits, take some profits, right? We've always told people that for a really, really long time. I
Right.
take those profits and I find this other person that, you know, is a smooth talker, sounds like a pretty good idea. And this is before I actually realized that SafeMoon was a scam and dump money into that one. Well, then it turned out to be not a proven scam, but it hadn't done anything in a really, really long time.
Yeah.
Some of those like literally put in $2,000 and before I hit as I hit the buy button, it's worth $100.
My
Like-
NPB pissed.
Yeah.
15
NPB.
I lost immediately.
That fast. I mean, faster than it took me to click the mouse. Because when it went through, I was like, did I not type in enough zeros? Like instead of doing like 200
That's
or
gone.
2,000, did I just buy $200 worth? Like what just happened? And then no, we'll go back and look, and it was gone. And we
Right.
never got any good reasons. We even had Don Bailey come back on the show after things with BBTF went weird, and we asked him some hard questions. He danced around him like a politician. I'm not going to lie. He's a good speaker. He has a good presence. But
This is also the guy that says John Caroni is the smartest man he knows.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
true.
didn't he?
And that is a quote,
Yeah.
I might add.
Well, I think that you can kind of see that whole ecosystem all believe that, and they all wanted to be John. And unfortunately, it turned out to be for the wrong reasons, in my view. I think they all got greedy.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I really don't think any of them are that dumb. I just think they all got greedy.
I bet
Because
you
it's, well, but the support people that, the support that people showed those projects in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, SafeMoon did a pretty good job of stringing that along for a few years, but the other projects didn't do a very good job of stringing it along. A few months. And
here's the thing is they were trying to string it along off the back of SafeMoon,
which
These
was a scam.
which
Yeah.
ended up being a scam. So what
Yeah.
does that say about your project?
And
And
how
then-
did you not know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But, going back to the sentencing, the only reason I think it's going to be 10 years plus is because Thomas, they came out, he took a plea deal. He
Mhm.
pled guilty and took a plea deal. And his plea deal still, I'm thinking it's around 5 to 7 years. Because
Oh, well, it'll be more for John then.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Because
it has to be.
like they offered him a plea and he declined it. So usually when that happens, they are like, well, F you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
We're
gonna
gonna hit you harder.
because you made us go through all of this to begin
Yeah.
with and wasted a lot of time, a lot of taxpayers' money. So we're gonna give it to you. And so that's why I think he's getting some really good time.
Well, let me ask you this too. With that all being said, you don't take the plea deal. So you think that I would think that your defense would be, in your mind, fairly rock solid. Now, the prosecution's job is to poke holes in that defense.
Right.
But how do you not testify on your own behalf? How do you not take the stand if you believe you are not guilty? How do you not testify on your own behalf?
Okay.
Is it because it went too far and by the time that was going to happen, there wasn't anything he could do? Did his defense lawyers realize he would have been a liability on the stand?
Yes.
You think that's what it is?
I think that's absolutely what it is. I think that the prosecution would have really hammered into him to where he either had to be truthful, which was going to make him look bad, or he was going to have to commit perjury. And so when that happens, when you're kind of backed into a corner, you have one of two options that are neither are good for you. So I think, because I really thought the same thing, Josh. I was like, why? Why didn't
I would have been on that stand in a heartbeat if I truly thought I was innocent.
Wasn't there one point that, there was one point where he wanted to defend himself. He wanted to represent himself. And
Well, and he put on X several times over, I don't know, the last several months talking about how that, he did not commit fraud and that he's looking forward to the trial where he will be proven innocent. I mean, if you truly, truly believe that, why wouldn't you take the stand? Even if it made you look like an idiot, what's your goal in his position? It's not to start SafeMoon up again. It's to get out of jail.
Yeah.
So you would think that you would put everything out there, even if it made you look like an idiot. Who cares as long as you've got your freedom? And he didn't do any of that. And the weird rumors of him wanting to be called John Wick, and I don't know if anybody ever got a picture of him, if he had longer hair or not. But
no, I don't know. I'm hoping his mugshot will show that. Hopefully, he still has long hair by then.
Oh yeah. So what do you think we should do? You think we should reach out to him and see if he wants to come on the program now that he doesn't have to worry about legal? Because that was the excuse he always gave us. Oh, I'd love to come on, but I can't because legal won't let me. Or I got to get past this with my parents. Remember, we talked to him after the lawsuit with his parents. And I say talk to him, guys, just so you know, it was like DMs. Like, we don't have his phone number. He wouldn't know me. I mean, he might know me if he saw me, if he's ever watched this, but I don't even know if he's really watched it or not. But the excuse was legal this, legal that, legal this, legal that. And at the time frame, we were always like, that's weird. Like, what are we going to talk about that legal is going to be worried about? And then we thought, well, you're in charge of a pretty big company. There are certain things maybe that you can't say yet for whatever reason. But it never really sat right with me that was always the reason. My guess is that's because he couldn't come on here and incriminate himself 2 or 3 years down the road. I'm actually glad he didn't, because I don't want to have to go to New York and testify. So I'm glad that he didn't accept our offer. But John, if you're watching and you want to come out here and you want to address the people, by all means, we'll hook you up if you're not in jail next Sunday. Come see us. We'll let you talk. And we're going to ask you some questions.
No promises. I can be nice to him.
No, well, and there's no reason. But I mean, we can be respectful to the point of conducting. Well, I can mute you. See, watch this. See, she's muted. She doesn't know it even. See, so we can mute you, Holly, if you get out of hand.
Wow, you're
not muted anymore.
Rudy comes in late, and the first thing she says is he's innocent and he didn't commit fraud.
Yeah, Meg, I absolutely would interview him in jail, because here's what I want to hear.
100%.
I do not care if, like, what really he has to say to me, but I think that the holders in general are owed some sort of honest explanation.
Yes.
Whether he wants to take it to an apology or not, I don't know, because we haven't seen any remorse. No. Even to the point in the defense where his lawyers were talking about that he was owed these expenses and the money from the LP. I would be fine if he wanted to come on here for 3 minutes and just apologize and then not even let us ask questions. I don't care. But at some point, I think it would be nice if he would make, he doesn't even have to come on our show. This isn't a ratings thing. I think that it would be nice if he would at least address the people and say, I screwed up. I effed up. Like, I'm sorry. But then go away after that. Like, I don't want to see you trying to launch a token 10 years down the road.
Oh my gosh.
20 years down the road.
I was thinking about that as I was getting ready for the podcast today. Can you imagine, like, he goes away for 10 years. They let him off on good behavior, because we all know that happens. Nobody ever really serves his full term, right? And then he comes back and we're all just still kind of chilling, doing our thing on Twitter, and holy shit, there's John Crony. Like, that will be I don't, that's going to be crazy, I mean, and if you think about it, it could be 5-7 years down the road. And I mean, I have full intent on still doing this. So,
yeah. Well, and here's the other thing too. Like, I keep going back to our first year and a half, basically right through the middle of the SafeMoon stuff. And then, because it's been a while, right? When did he get arrested? Was it in the fall?
No, can you believe it's been like 2 years almost?
Has it really? Okay. I knew it had been a while, but I lose track of time. I'm getting old.
No, it has been a long time.
But that kind of goes back to the point I was going to bring up is, remember how we used to say that like a year in a crypto world is like 10 years in real life? Like it's stressful and this and that. Have you noticed that since SafeMoon isn't a thing, that it doesn't really feel like that anymore? To me, being in the crypto game doesn't stress me out at all. When it used to, remember how we used to say, I know you were typing something there, but remember how we used to say like a year or a month in crypto is like a year in real life?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that anymore.
It really doesn't.
But it used to.
Yeah.
It used to be like, I'm checking the chart every day, this and that, blah, blah, blah.
That is true, yeah.
And now it's like, now that I'm invested in projects that I actually believe in and I know what a scam looks like, and I'm confident enough now to listen to what my gut has to say, crypto time is real time, just like everything else. I just like to see it go up faster, but
yeah,
it's not a big deal.
Let's see. Okay, so it was October 31st. Yeah, it was on Halloween. Duh, we should have remembered that.
Oh, yeah.
23. So, yeah.
23, really?
Guys, yes. Doesn't it seem like not too long ago?
Yeah.
But, no, me and Rudy, we were talking. So there was this little clip that came out where John, like, pretty much is like, you think you've been abused. I've been abused and put up with it. Like,
I just saw that yesterday.
Yeah, so that I remember seeing that back in the day, but it didn't feel like it was 3 years ago. It was, and at that time, it was funny because I was giving Rudy a hard time saying, "Oh, you still have your rose-colored glasses on at that time. You didn't know." But so did I when it came out, because I remember it so well, thinking, "Oh, it's just a small clip. He's probably talking to somebody else, not even talking about the holders." And now I'm like, he thinks the holders were abusing him.
Well, here's a tweet from April 21st, 2024, where he posted, "I'll keep this post brief and to the point. I'm innocent. I didn't commit fraud. Looking forward to this case progressing. I won't be broken. I won't be bullied." And then it's Stan Marsh's dad says, "I didn't hear no bell." As a gift.
Yeah. And I remember Phil reposting that and said, "John is coming out swinging."
Yeah. And he didn't really.
No.
There again there were several days in April there of 23 where he was like, "I didn't commit fraud," all these different things. Then it was the 21st. He's quoting Romans 3:25 in a weirdest post, especially coming from a dude that's a pastor, meaning me, not John. God presented Christ as a sacrifice of atonement through the shedding of his blood to be received by faith. He did this to demonstrate his righteousness, because in his forbearance he had left the sins committed beforehand unpunished. And John We Trust this post makes it sound like he thinks he's Jesus, which is super odd.
Did he actually say in John We Trust?
No. But I mean, other people did, but he is presenting this like this is his defense. Like God is using him to go after the unpunished sins.
So is that where, like,
I'm just sitting here scrolling through his timeline, and it's super odd.
Yeah. Well, like that
got real religious real fast, and then not religious real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, so that account, SafeMoon, right? He was at the trial and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm wondering if he gets John's posts and reiterates them on what he believes, because it's almost the same.
It is close, kind of
thing, which is really, really, really odd.
Mm-hmm.
That he was there and he heard a whole completely different thing than what actually happened, I think.
True.
Or he had blinders on.
And
he heard what he wanted to hear.
He even like put out a post pretty much like saying John was Christ. It was some weird stuff.
Yeah,
like, honestly, weird. Like that Kool-Aid is strong. Strong.
That actually, if you remember in our conversations, I think it was even off camera that I guess apparently has been like 2 or 3 years ago now. Mm-hmm. That when that first "In John We Trust" hashtag started going out, I was like, nah, I'm done. Because you start getting cult followings like that. To me, my instincts immediately go, something is not right here.
One.
Like,
Yeah, I think that's when we sold, isn't it?
I think it might have been.
Yeah.
And then here I am trying to be unbiased and trying to, yeah, Rudy.
No, I'm like, oh my goodness.
Rudy.
For those of you who don't know, this is in tongue in cheek, okay?
Yeah.
But no, even when I sold, it was a few weeks before I think I actually made it public because we were talking something about whatever. And I was like, guys, just for the record, I sold mine like 3 weeks ago because I don't believe in it anymore. And I'm real careful to say that because unfortunately, sometimes people take us a little bit too serious. Sometimes they probably don't take us serious enough. But when it comes to your money, I'm not trying to like push anybody into decide what they're going to buy and what they're not going to buy. I just sometimes will share what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But it's another reason why we keep the numbers and the amount of zeros out of it too, because, I don't want anybody to think that if I put a certain amount in that they need to put the same or they don't have enough bought or whatever. Everybody's strategy is different, but it's just, it comes all the way down to it. It's just sad.
I think
it just is.
It really is. And I think for me, I would like John to come out. Even if he said, you guys, I really honestly didn't think that this was going to have the effect on you guys that it did, but I'm sorry that it did.
I'm young and dumb and I did something stupid.
And that's okay. That would be so much more than shoving down our throat that you're innocent and didn't do anything. And then on top of that, blaming the holders for not looking at the blockchain when it was there the whole time, when, the fudders, I don't even, TNG and company were trying to tell us, but John's on the other side saying, no, don't listen to those people. They don't know what they're talking about. And so it's like, but all these things you did, and all I want to know was it worth it? Was it really worth it?
I'm sure he would say no now. But also, one of the things that somebody had said, maybe in the space that you and Rudy were in too, was I think that there could be a chance, and that this does not justify it. Sometimes I wonder if he was taking money out of liquidity with the thought of, I'm going to put it in more and then some. But then when you look at what he used that money for,
exactly,
it was never going to go back in.
Exactly.
It never was.
I mean, so, he had an R8 that, his friend totaled and they just left it. They left it there and, let me just go buy another one. Like,
well, why? It's not your money. Why do you care? You didn't earn that money. At some level, there's no value to it because you can just go get another one. I mean, you see that sometimes. It used to be a big deal in like the 2000s. You see it on TV all the time where these millionaires' kids would do the dumbest, recklessest things because there was no value to it to them. Daddy, just buy me another one, and it's kind of how he treated the liquidity pool. So, or turns out that's how he treated it. But yeah, I don't, Meg, I don't know if he came out and apologized, would it be sincere? That's for each individual person to have to know.
Yeah.
I would have my doubts just because of the history, but it's also very, very telling of the people that have come out and talked about this, and not just talking about John, but the people that have not said a word. Going back to that whole ecosystem, that there has been no posts, no mentions, no even trying to distance yourself from this man after this guilty verdict. I feel like if I was in a position of people associated me with a criminal, that at some level, if I had a legit business going on, I would try to separate myself from that criminal so that people didn't think I was a criminal. Yeah. Maybe that's too elementary of thinking. I do not know, but I do think people tell you a lot, sometimes even more from their silence than they do with actual words. It'll be very interesting over the next 6 months to see if anything else happens in this ecosystem. I also think it's very possible we will never hear from any of those people ever again. They will just be gone.
I hope they are.
Me too.
I hope that they there are people who ran that are still were behind the scenes on a burner trying to figure out like what's what and trying to help John that still decide they're not coming back. Why don't you just go away? Period.
Mm-hmm.
Like altogether, get off your stupid Discord. That it was a In John We Trust Discord, by the way.
I wasn't invited to that. Can you imagine?
I mean, I wasn't invited either, but I got friends. I got friends in those places.
There you go.
But
I got you as that friend, that you have friends in those places, so I don't have to.
But what I don't understand are all the people who are still like have some kind of trust in those people. I don't know. There's just so much confusion with like the human
there is.
That I just can't wrap my brain around. And I mean, it's not my job to do so, but.
Well, and Meemaw said that they made an announcement yesterday of something that's coming. I don't see it. But DM that to us. Meemaw would love to see it. She said that they made an announcement. I'm guessing she's.
Okay. So.
Maybe she's talking about Safe Moon.
No, she's talking about Blockbuster.
Oh, she is? Okay. Yeah, DM that to me, Meemaw, if you can find it, because I can't. I'm over here looking at it. I can't find it. Yeah,
and it's going to be greenlit, and everybody should be so excited because I think it's going to release on Memorial Day. And it's My Deck Spot.
Tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, My Deck Spot.
According to Bryson, he did say something along the lines of it's going to be Memorial. So let's just read between the stupid lines. Stop being stupid, cryptic, and just.
I am so tired of the cryptic messages in this
space.
Oh
my gosh! And you know what?
That alone makes me not want to invest in meme coins.
Eyes from Don Bailey, I'm like, get the F out of here. That's so stupid and played out, and you always do those eyes, and nothing happens. They're just as guilty as. Mm-hmm. As John is being, ignore the fudding when shit is going down. Nothing's going down other than their chart. But
it's not doing anything.
True.
That's none of my business.
I'm the
actual fact. Their chart is doing nothing but going down.
I guess on May 20th, Don Bailey did post a little meme of a dude injecting liquidity into a liquidity engine.
What?
But that was the first thing he's posted since March 14th.
Who?
Don Bailey.
Go to his replies. He's been doing his stupid eyeballs.
Let me see. Oh yeah, I see it. Bryson said I'm hearing words like greenlit. Don's got his eyeballs.
Oh,
he's talking. I don't.
Yeah.
Good luck. I hope people aren't being scammed. I honestly say I am sincere in saying that I'm hoping people are not being scammed. Yeah. Well, holy cow! It's just so ridiculous.
Putting money into it to get scammed anymore, right? The money
that I already lost the money that I put into it.
That's exactly it. Like at this point, nobody look at the volume. There's some days where they don't have even a penny of volume,
right?
And so you can't even see the charts or whatever, but. When you have volume, even $1,000 isn't doing anything for these people holding this token.
No.
And so, I see they've convinced some people, and I mean, his track record sucks. Nove, he's shilling for them, and he's going to be the music rapper.
No. Are you serious?
I swear to you.
I had not seen that. I could have gone all day and not heard that.
Yeah. And so he's over here saying, I'm going to live off of my passive income of reflections.
Oh, come on.
I swear to you, maybe it was like 2 weeks ago.
Was he trying to be funny?
No, he's serious. That's why
There's no way.
What?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's no volume. And without real world utilities, there won't be enough volume for anybody to relive on reflections. That's something that took us a while to realize with SafeMoon because we just assumed people were going to just keep buying it and buying it and buying it. And those buys were going to be those reflections. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, people are like, what's this actually going to do? Mm-hmm. And no one could ever really come out. So then it started going backwards. And then there were reflections, but they weren't worth crap. It doesn't work. If you wanted to use a token, say like XRP that people were using in the real world, and they were buying gasoline with it, and they were doing this, and it was moving back and forth, and people were actually using it like money. Okay, reflections might work, but it would have to be at a small percentage. Otherwise, it's going to start devaluing your token. So that was a great idea on paper, and John had a great way of explaining it.
Yeah.
Don Bailey would jump on top of that. I'm forgetting other names because I just got to the point where I didn't care anymore. But it's not going to work. Okay. Put your money in it if you want to. I'll pray for you. I'll even cross my fingers. Maybe it'll skyrocket. I
will not.
I am just not putting any money into it.
Yeah.
That does not mean you can't.
Yeah.
Do with it what you want.
I'm just at the point, seriously, where you get what you deserve. If you have...
At this time, I would agree with you. 3 years ago, there was a lot of new people that made money on Doge that didn't really understand the markets. They didn't really understand. They thought everyone was honest. Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of people's story. A lot of people got lucky. Some people, it was strategic. They knew what they were doing. But a lot of people's story starts in 21 when they got lucky with a coin like Doge. And they thought that's how it always was. And let me tell you, through that summer of 21, there was a lot of money to be made. You didn't have to know what you were doing. Okay. Or maybe I just got really lucky that summer. I don't know. But then all of a sudden start realizing all these other people want your profits on all those other things. And you can't trust everybody. And maybe I'm a slow learner, but it took me a while, and it took me getting my butt kicked to the point of, you got to earn my trust now. I'm not just freely giving it.
Yep.
I'm not. I don't care if you were, I don't know. I don't have a good example because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, because there's still a lot of people in this space that I do respect and I do love. But, I'm not even going to, like, if Caleb was to recommend this token to me because a friend of a friend told him about it, I'm going to go research the crap out of it before I even consider. And if your name has ever been attached to any scam token ever, I'm out. Yeah. I don't care. It could 1 million X itself and everybody else could be millionaires. I'll be fine.
Meg says Holly is done being kind. And that's not true. That's not true. I am done being kind to people who do not deserve it. That people that the people who are out there purposely scamming people or actually blaming others for their downfall. No. Well, how can you be kind to somebody who is being unkind to thousands and thousands of people?
You can be kind to ignorance, right? You can be kind to people that don't know, and maybe they make mistakes. We can be kind to those people, but it can't be. It's hard to be kind to dirtbags. Yeah. It's hard to be kind to people that are outright just scamming. And listen, that's not everyone. Okay, you have to do your own research. You have to go out there and you look. Not everyone is scamming you. Okay, but there was that ecosystem for that chain of time. That go back and tell me any of those projects that are still doing anything. I mean, besides BBTF, that apparently is going to make everybody a multi-millionaire on Monday because they're my deck spots coming out.
There's no more money to scam. That is the only reason they're not doing it.
Yeah, I agree.
They've already done it. They know who took had the hacks. They know who did that, but yet no legal action is happening. It's, we can't talk about that. But here we are.
Okay, John.
Exactly. Here we are 3 years later and have not heard a peep from you doing anything legally to these people who were the hackers. No, you had some involvement. I'm gonna say he had some involvement in it.
Okay, so let me ask you this because I want to be correct. Was it not BBTF that also moved their headquarters next door to SafeMan?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so, but I don't want to throw that out there as fact if it wasn't, and I misremembered. So if anybody would know, I would guess that those people would know. Just saying. I mean, so do your own research, put your money in whatever you want to. I've told people for the last year that my money is going into blue chips. And even though the market hasn't been awesome since last year, the returns have been pretty good because they have been, some of the blue chips have done very well over the last 8 months or so. You can't get a 40% return on your money in fiat like I was able to with even Doge, because even over the last, I think it was 3 months when I looked at it, my return on Doge has been 40%. I can't get that at fiat. I mean, Bitcoin return over that same time period was 19%. I can't get that at fiat.
Right.
You know, so to each their own, do with your money whatever you want. But I just want people's eyes to be open. I want their ears to be open. If we can help them, that great. Sometimes we don't completely understand what this nonsense is being thrown around. When we don't understand, we will tell you we don't understand. We do not have pride in this. We are just normally 4 people hanging out, having a good time that like to talk about a lot of stuff. That all kind of got started because of all of our individual loves of crypto got combined, and then we became friends, and now we just talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's been a while since any one of our podcasts has just been strictly crypto.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's been because that's what's in the current events of what we like, because, well, the verdict came out and the trial was going on and things like that. So I just don't want to see anybody get hurt. But if you choose to put your money in places, you might. And at this point, I believe that's on you. There are enough good people out there that are trying to at least expose the bad things that are going on, that if you're not paying attention or you have blinders on and you still believe in John We Trust, I don't have anything else to say to you. I don't hate you, but I don't have anything else to say to you. It's like banging your head up against a wall.
Yeah. I don't hate you, but I don't really like you.
Well, I don't know them, but I'm
Yeah.
not really talking to you anymore. Like when we're having these conversations, I'm not really directed my energy at you because you're not really listening anyways. Otherwise, you would have the same conclusion that like everyone else has.
Here's my thing is you're excusing a man and not taking into account the hundreds of thousands of people.
Oh yeah.
That man hurt. What sense does that make? What type of person? You have hundreds of thousands of people on this hand, but you're saying those hundreds of thousands of people don't matter because of one man?
And why that one man? Why we put our faith in men?
I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either. What about John Caroni would make anybody treat him as if he was some kind of all being?
Well,
I can't understand.
So I can't give you an exact answer to that, but let's look at a couple of examples here of that same sort of thing. I think SafeMoon was a little bit of its own cult mentality. Like if you have like these different mentalities, it was just notch above the rest of them, right?
Yeah.
But look at everything with Grove. Like when that was really hitting, like there were people that were against it, right? That you had your fudders. Turns out they were right too. But like, was it John G? Is that what his name was?
Yeah.
John G.
He could do no wrong, right? Mindy on this podcast a couple times fooled the crap out of me. Okay. I talked to her behind the scenes. That one time we talked to her behind the scenes for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And she straight up gave us financial advice that was absolutely untrue. I still don't hate her, but I don't trust her. No. She no longer even follows us anymore. She's like gone. But think about that. At that point, that Grove is doing a giveaway. Make sure. Are you serious?
Where do you? We were like, what the hell? I swear, yes, they've been doing giveaways, and I think from what I can remember,
it has to be fake.
No, I think there was a couple people who took over, and John left.
John's gone. I do know that, and Minnie's gone.
I think there's a few of them that are still trying to keep it alive.
Good luck. I sold all that crap too. I just
gave all my way.
But you know, looking back at that though, there was a kind of cult mentality around that too, right? I mean, you had Mindy driving to go deliver, supposedly. I don't even know if it's true, because now I don't know what I can believe.
Right.
Driving to hurricane victims to deliver hurricane supplies and having a space the entire drive down there, hyping Grove for like I forget what it was, like 12 hours.
Okay, so I have something
It's like
to
a marathon.
I am going to tell you now that like all of this has kind of imploded. So Mindy was actually supposed to go to Dubai at that same time. Well, supposedly.
Oh, it was during the hurricane that she was supposed to go to Dubai.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's right.
So supposedly she didn't go to Dubai because people were threatening her over there. And
Because
so
of Muslims.
I think it was like several different factors.
Okay. Yeah. We don't have to get into details.
Yeah.
I just now remembered what it was. Yeah. Okay.
And so she then went and told everybody that, you know, the hurricane happened. I'm going to stay put and help the victims and stuff, because she didn't want to come out with the real reason why she wasn't going to Dubai, which was because supposedly she was being like.
Can't even believe that, though, really.
Like, I know.
To my core, we don't even know if that's true.
Yeah, she said that people were threatening to stone her, to kill her. Like, there was a bunch of different things going on. So I don't even know what to believe, but that is really what happened. Well, what her story is.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, it was like this big to do, but hush hush, pray for me, all this sort of things, and I don't know. And what we've been talking about this, and what is that? 2 of them, Grove and Save Moon at 3, Blockbuster Tech. I got like 5 more in my head, but we've been on the air for an hour and 2 minutes. I don't think we got time to get into it. But there's just been one scammer I feel like spawned like this whole ecosystem of scammers, because one guy got away with it and was super excited about it. Everybody, all these other weirdos, like worshipped him because he got away with being a scammer. And so they all decided to try to their own luck at it. And apparently some of these dumbasses are still trying to like make it work. But as long as we don't put money into it, I don't mean us 3, but everyone, they can't scam you.
You know what I just can't understand, though?
Oh, Rudy, I have not forgotten about the MPs. Trust me. That was one of the hardest lessons I ever learned, was MP, B&B. Sorry, Holly.
No. Is why do you think that John decided to go to V2 and keep it going? Do you think it was to hide the scam that happened?
Probably.
And so that like they would see, oh, it's still going, so he didn't have anything to do with it?
So I don't know the ins and outs. Well, I don't know the ins and outs of the V1 contract very well, to be honest with you. My gut tells me that V2 allowed him to take more money out of the liquidity than V1 maybe allowed him to. Or even if it wasn't that, he knew there was a way that they could scam better. It could have just been hype. Hey, we're going V2. Everybody's like, yeah, money. Let's go. Let's buy more of this before it explodes. And I don't know.
Dropped.
Yeah,
when
it was bad.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Like, it never.
Because who did the same thing? Grove. Remember when you had to like send your tokens over, and then you got like 1/100 millionth of.
They wanted to reduce the supply,
and they did, because like my 2 trillion tokens went to like 100 million or whatever I had. I don't even remember now, but it was. But luckily with Grove, I never really. Even when we talked to Mindy the first time, there was just something in my gut that was like, I didn't know what it was, but it made me not put a lot of money into it. And so I didn't lose that much, but still losing money. But yeah, so see how they copycat themselves even in just those ways. So it's almost like they have like these weird meetings. I am not accusing them of this. I have no inside information, but it's almost like they got together and go, how can we scam them next? Who's going to try it first? Oh, that worked. I'm going to do it too. Yeah. And who knows how many millions of dollars were scammed away in just those 3 tokens alone. I don't know.
How sad.
Can't tell you. I can tell you that I lost 5 figures in those 3 tokens. Easy.
Yeah, I did.
So, yeah. And what happens if I would have put that into Bitcoin? I mean, the money I lost in those 3 tokens, I could have probably at the time bought 3 Bitcoin.
That's sickening. I don't even want to think about. I just don't even. I can't.
Yeah, maybe even 4 or 5, depending on, because Bitcoin. There were some times it went down to like 18,000.
Well,
might add 6. Like, who knows?
yeah.
Yeah, I know the blockchain knows, Meg. I just don't. I'm not taking the time to do the research because at this point, I don't want to say I don't care, but I'm not giving it any more energy.
Yeah.
We can have conversations about it. To me, that's not energy. That's just what friends do. But I am not giving it any more of my time outside of the podcast to do the research on it.
Because learn from it.
Yeah.
You've learned from it, so you're not going to do it again.
Well, let me ask you guys something real fast about that. 2021. Okay, that was the year that people could pretty much not do any wrong. I did do a little research on this question, by the way. It is basically when most of the coins that we know of today, that are still around anyways, were at their all-time high, roughly May 21. Okay? Tell me, don't look, but guess where BTC was at that time.
Shit, what, like 30 something?
Okay, so the highest I could find it in May was at 58,000.
Oh,
but
okay.
you're right. Most of that month, it was in the 30s. So I didn't want to like skew the data saying, well, I took the lowest number of it. But so anywhere from like 35 to 58,000 is where BTC was in 2021. Since that time, what has BTC done? It just hit its all-time high.
I know.
How far away is everything else from their all-time high?
Yeah, why?
My guess is there's a use case for BTC. And the Bitcoin conference is coming up. And and that's not why it hit its all-time high. But I'm telling you, the more and more I'm digging into BTC, the more and more I'm a BTC maxi. Because the financial institutions have finally figured out how to allow it to make them money. And once they do that, and once it becomes the norm, it is going to skyrocket. Because think about it. If it goes up 10% right now, how much does it go up? $17,000 at a 10% day. So as that happens over a year, it's not going to take very long to get to $1 million, know? So anyways, people do with that information what you want. I just thought it was kind of a funny deal that at the same time Doge is at like 72 cents, BTC was at like 39,000.
Right.
Now Doge is at like 22 cents and BTC is like 107,000. And
so insane.
The rest of them are kind of following around that Doge too. ETH and even SHIB. I went back and looked at those other ones that you would see basically on Robinhood. I didn't go back and look at all of them, but they all basically hit their all-time high in that 1 or 2 month span there in 21. And BTC was basically at that time, I guess I should have looked, it could have been at its all-time high. But since that point, it's went up to 107, where everything else is basically all those other tokens are worth half what they were in that month of 21. Basically, not all of them, but that's just a good summary of it. So I just thought you guys might find that to be interesting, from where we are in the crypto space to where we were to where we are. And maybe that gives us a glimpse of what the future is going to look like too. I don't know.
Possibly.
I feel like I do.
Hopefully.
That's where I'm putting my eggs. So
same.
One last thing, and then we'll call it a day. Because we are football fans. We've been a little starved for football. Do you think, this is so random compared to this whole, I probably should have skipped it and saved it for next week. But do you think that the tush push should have been banned?
No, I love the tush push.
Me too. Since when do we ban things that other people have figured out how to do really, really well? And then we're not talking about the WNBA, Meg.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
Gosh. There's a lot of weirdness going on with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and
I saw the greatest quote.
Reggie, RG.
Oh yeah. Talking about their white wives and things like that.
It's been insane.
I saw the craziest quote that said that if the Caitlin Clark, what's her name? Angel Reese rivalry would be awesome if Angel Reese was actually good at basketball. I'm
So
like,
what was that one thing?
Truth.
If Angel Reese made the next 100 shots in a row, she'd still be shooting under 50%.
yeah, if she makes her next 100 shots in a row, she still would be shooting under 50% for her career, which is
wow.
That's
a
nuts.
year and like 3 games.
Sam.
She can make her next 100 shots and still be shooting.
Hey,
Here's
I saw statistics about Angel or Clark. Now I
Mhm.
can't think of her name.
I think
Caitlin.
Caitlin.
Like in 45 games, she's had these like crazy numbers, like doubles, right? In
Triple doubles, wasn't it?
yeah, but there's like a shit ton of them.
Yeah.
Like she beat the record in 45 days, and some people have 530 days on there.
Like 10 years of playing or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
aren't even close to her numbers. That's insane.
That is absolutely insane. I think
Mhm.
one of them was she has more 20-point, 10 assist games than anyone else, and she's played in like 39 games. And second place had played in like 514 or something like that.
Mhm.
That's insane. She's going to obliviate the record books like Wilt Chamberlain did to the NBA when he first showed up,
Crazy.
which was before I was even born. But
If she doesn't get hurt.
well, that's the other thing. The rest of them are treating her like she's the devil, and she is their meal ticket, and they're trying to hurt her. Like that's not smart. It's just not smart.
Crazy. On a sports other related note,
Sure, we talk about whatever.
the University of Arizona baseball team won the Big 12 championship last night.
Oh, sweet.
Who they beat? Did they play Kansas?
No, they played TCU.
Okay. Maybe TCU was a 2 seed. I knew Kansas was one of the
4.
top 4 seeds.
So we were 4, TCU
Okay.
was 3.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you were 4. So who was 1?
I don't know. I didn't see that.
Maybe
part.
it was Kansas. I was just looking at the bracket, and maybe it was backwards.
BYU.
Oh, it was BYU. They were at the top.
Oh yeah.
So Kansas was 2, and then it was Arizona and TCU. That's
well, maybe
good.
Arizona was 3 and TCU was 4. No, I want to say Arizona was 4 or TCU was 3.
Yeah, whichever one was in there. So, but as long as Kansas didn't win, I don't really care.
Yeah, and they won 2-1.
Nice.
My favorite teams are Mizzou and whoever's playing Kansas.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Anything else you guys want to talk about before this big brain person goes and takes a nap?
Is it nap time already?
Dude, it's been nap time for a week.
You're so ridiculous.
Wow.
No, honestly, I was feeling really sick on, I think it was Friday, and out of nowhere, I took a nap. And it was just really, really weird that I just wasn't feeling great. And so
how'd you feel when you woke up?
I still felt like crap.
That's because you haven't trained yourself. There's
I need to go
training involved in napping, okay?
Oh
like
my
you can't
God.
just do it. Like, yeah, you have to do it a certain way. I have learned though that you can sleep too long in a nap. And I have been cutting them back to like an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh, that's still too long. They say you're supposed to like 20 to 30 minutes.
No, that's stupid. I used to take like 4-hour naps.
Oh my
And-
gosh.
wow.
Yeah.
What a wasted day.
Oh, but it feels so good. Like just like And then I stay up till 3:00 in the morning watching stupid things on Netflix. I don't know. People don't bug me in the middle of the night. My phone doesn't
Finish
ring.
it.
It's peaceful. So, you want to know some sad news?
Maybe.
I got to put my dog down. So she had, I think I told you that she was diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah.
And they told us that they went, like, look for these 3 things. I think it was she sleeps a lot. She doesn't really want to eat. And like going to the bathroom becomes like a problem. She's sleeping like 20 hours a day now. She eats about half what she used to. And she will only walk like 2 steps into the yard.
She has another growth on her.
Yeah, and now there's 2 growths. So Thursday I had to call and schedule. So not this Friday, but a week from Friday we're gonna put her down on June 6th or 7th, whatever that Friday is.
Yeah.
So the next time you come visit us, there won't be any Ellie.
Yeah, we might all get together on July 4th. That'll be fun.
Yeah, but Ellie won't be there.
River will be.
That makes me River. Good old River. Oh, that makes me really.
He's never gonna die.
How's the wife taking it?
Yeah. Actually, here's where it's at, Holly. And this is, I truly believe this in my heart of hearts, okay? That as owners of pets or anyone, I mean, you can't do this with humans, right? Because it's illegal. But as owners of pets, sometimes the best way you can take care of them is by putting them down because and I've always been the guy, and I don't mean by misjudging it by months, that if I have to do it, I'd rather do early than late.
Yeah.
Like, because like yesterday, she had a pretty good day, and we were all looking at her like, of course you did. We just scheduled your death, and now you're going to have this like, But then I'm sorry, 2 days ago. Then yesterday, she slept for 20 hours and barely ate anything. And, you know, she would just come in here and sit down to me and just look up at me, and I'm petting her, and she's just like, I just don't think she feels well. Yeah. So we're going, we since we've set that, and we've already kind of before that, just spoiling the crap out of her. So for the next 10 days, like, my wife is making her a roast for dinner right now. Okay. This dog, if she'll eat it, she's gonna have some good meals and things like that. But it's okay. I mean, you know, dogs aren't supposed to live as long as we do. If they outlive us, then people are gonna be sad that we're gone. You know, so but I feel like that too, like, life is hard sometimes, especially when you have to take care of people. And sometimes I'd have this conversation with somebody the other day. Taking care of your folks, the best way you can do that is by getting them help or having to put them in an assisted living, because you can't always, unless you're a nurse, you can't always take care of their needs. And I feel like in a roundabout way, that's how it is with our dog. Like, the best thing we can do for her at some level is, you know, let her go. Yeah. So yeah, we got that scheduled. So little down.
You're gonna make sure that you go in. You guys are with her.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Okay, because I read a thing that like broke my heart. Like, they actually know when they're going in, and like they feel alone and scared when you don't go with them.
Who doesn't go with their dog?
There are people who just are like, I can't do it, and so they don't, and so it's
they have other people take their dog to the vet to put them down.
Yeah,
that's pretty crappy.
What?
Yeah.
No, as much as it sucks, I didn't even know that was a thing, Holly.
It's a thing, and
as much as it sucks, it's like, no. I mean, I kind of want to be. For her, the last thing that she thinks of is that Stephanie and I are there loving on her. You know. Man, that's weird. I didn't even know that was a thing, Holly.
Yes, it is. And
that is sad. That'd be like, I mean, not the same, because I know not everybody does. I do put more value on human life than I do animal lives. I'm weird that way. But would you do that to your mom and dad? Would you do that to your kid? Would you do that to your wife? Would you do that? I won't even do that to my friends. Like, if I know you're going and they say you got like 5 minutes and you want me to like hold your hand while you go through that, I'm not going to leave because it's hard. Yeah. I mean, that's weird.
I know. See, animals are everything to me, as you can tell. I don't like this conversation.
It's not your dog, Holly.
She's such a good girl. Oh,
she fed her snacks.
Yeah, I gave her a lot of snacks.
Oh, trust me, I know. It took a while to get her tummy back to normal the last time you guys were here. I don't think it was just you either. I think she had more brisket than she's ever had in her life.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyways, it is part of life, and it is hard. But Rudy said that her father didn't stay with the dog when he put her down. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no, don't worry about that. No, I just think that's. I mean, all the love and the companionship that animals give you, I think that you owe them at least that.
At the very least, sheesh.
I mean, I don't know. That caught me off guard. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in all seriousness, though, I am going to go take a nap. I hope you guys have a great week. Got anything fun, exciting planned?
We're probably going to do some barbecuing or something and just kind of hang out and watch movies. Nice. Nothing too extravagant because it's so hot.
You need a
Mike
pool.
says search for aliens. Oh, by the way, fun story. And I think I told you guys at the end, but I want to tell all these people how weird my husband is.
Yes.
We went driving. We had to go, I live in like an outskirt of town. And so we always say we got to go to town. So we went into town to get some like groceries and stuff. And he's like, oh, we got to go by Mally's dad's house. And I'm like, why do we got to go over there? And he was like, I have a package. And I was like, okay. And so we're driving, right? And I'm like, well, what's in this package? Like, I usually know
Right.
what he buys. And he just very quietly says, some goggles. And I looked at him, I said, what kind of goggles? What do you mean goggles? Hey, can we turn that down? Hey, Google, turn off the TV. Can you hear my TV? Mike just
a little bit. I can't tell what it is though.
Oh.
At least you weren't watching porn.
Yeah. And so I'm like, what do you mean goggles? What that would have been terrible.
Yeah.
I just got
All
that.
of a sudden our views go, "Whoa."
He goes, I said, well, what kind of goggles? Like, what does he need goggles for, right? And he was like, they're night vision goggles. And he like named the numbers of these goggles. And I'm like, what are those for? And he just kind of looked at me and he was like, to look for aliens. I'm like, are you kidding me? He
Great
didn't tell me that he was getting these like high-tech night vision goggles to look for aliens.
Have you tried them yet?
I mean, I look because they're pretty cool. You don't like put them on, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a screen. And so wherever you're looking, and so I just looked at the screen and didn't see nothing.
Oh.
But he's, I catch him every now and again at night, like outside looking at shit. And I'm like, what are you looking for? Aliens.
Yeah. One of these days, he's like, look what I found.
Shout out to Mike D.
My name's Mike D, and I'm about to get money.
There you go.
Our favorite.
Like he does this little like arm dance as
Well, duh, you have to, right? Yeah. That's just part of it. Every guy that hears that song is doing a little arm dance, baby. Well, I got to find the sign off song so that we don't have awkward silence. There it goes.
Oh, we have a sign off song?
Well, the
normal.
the ending thing.
Yeah.
It's only been a little over 3 years. Love you guys. Have a good week. And God bless.
Be kind.
I'm Caleb. Please like and subscribe.